dumbass thought I set the show for 9:30.
Nah,
it's all good. You ain't from the hood.
You ain't never got put on. You ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood.
Where my phone at?
Hell nah. You ain't never got put on. You ain't from the hood. Oh, I live in the hood, ass nigga. Never got put on. Always claiming the hood though.
I thought I set this show for 9:30.
With none of your damn homeboys. They don't get a pass. Had a little homies press they ass for your tattoos. Had your mama waking up to some bad news. The plug saying groove, I'm a dime. I was long in the race, skinny nigga with the braid. Took a 2-man fade. I'm really from the hood. I took a fucking break to get my money right. But I was
what up, Slaphead?
In the meeting with Jermaine. They like, poet, oh you bang? They forgot where I came from. I was gang banging when it wasn't fun. Homie doing life right now.
101.
You ain't from the hood.
Nigga press secretary.
Nah, you ain't get put on. You ain't from the hood. You ain't never got put on. You ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood. Ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on. You ain't from the hood. And that goes for these hoes too. Start fucking on niggas and throwing these niggas hood up. Ha, little dot. Heard you gave a homie head in the trap spot. Got a throwaway in the stash spot. Boy, you not real, like a Sasquatch. Boy, I'm so high, I'm seeing astronauts. Boy, I ball hard, I need a mascot. Oh, it, and Swahili on the Damu. My little cousin making Paru. My nigga Uzi, he from Fly Deuce. Pad blows, I be hanging with some real whoops. Gang signs out the window when we drive coupes. Making money with some Crips like it's 92. Banging on tracks, banging on tracks. Back in my days, it was banging on. You ain't from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood, ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood.
Fuck Chris Brown, nigga. Pull up in the hood right now, nigga. Catch a fade, nigga. Fuck, nigga. Frogs.
What's up for the people in the hood? Now, I came up with another fantastic video. I must pat myself on the back for this. The shit I be coming up with, I'm telling you, somebody better hire me fast because you don't get this type of information and entertainment on no other channel but this channel. You ain't gonna find a video like this on no other channel. I guarantee it. Ain't nobody gonna put this shit together like I do. Ain't nobody gonna put it together. Now, do y'all know Joe Biden done made more history as president than any president in the history of presidents? Joe Biden says good. Some people say it's good history. Some people say it's bad history, right? But Joe Biden is the most historical president ever in the history of the world. And I don't think y'all know just how fortunate y'all have it, you know what I'm saying, to have Joe Biden as y'all president, because Joe Biden is setting records every day. Every day he's setting a record, he's breaking history. He's doing something that no other president have done, and you're living through this, right? Now, let's go through a history, right? Since Joe Biden's been in president less than 2 years, let's go through the history, the good, the bad, and the ugly of Mr. no other than Joe, whatever his middle fucking name is, Biden, right? Let's go. First of all, do you know you have the oldest president in the history of presidents? Joe Biden is the oldest motherfucker to ever put his hand on the Bible and say, I am president of the United States, right? He is the oldest motherfucker that ever touched the Bible. Older than Reagan, older than anybody. He would have been probably older than Bernie Sanders. He older than everybody that ever touched a damn Bible and said, I put my right hand up to God and I swear I'm going to be the president of the United States. He was the oldest.
Sort of in an interesting situation where we have the oldest president ever coming into office. Today is Joe Biden's birthday. Sort of in an interesting...
Wait. So Joe Biden, for his first record, one of Joe Biden's first records that he ever broke, right? ever broke, if you want to say it's in a good way, bad way, however you want to put it, right? But Joe Biden, first record he ever broke, right? One of his first records that he ever broke was how old his ass was. If you want to say it's good, if you want to say it's bad, oh yeah, Joe Biden was the oldest president ever. I voted for the oldest president ever. He made history as the oldest person to ever touch the president White House, right? I voted for him. So if you want to take credit for that, you know what I'm saying, for voting in the absolutely oldest motherfucker to ever touch the White House, right? Go ahead and do that, right? Because if he the oldest, that means he probably the most capable or most possible likely to have dementia or forget some shit or old timers or some shit like that. And he's going through it because his mind ain't never been there. He has the most highest probability of going through some mental shit, right? Because he's the oldest president in history. And that's what old people do. Ask your 80-year-old ass grandmother or mother or whoever it is 80 years old, ask them to do some shit Joe Biden do or are supposed to do. You can make them do some shit. I ain't saying they ain't got no energy, but on the energy level, they can't do it. But Joe Biden is the oldest president in history.
Situation where we have the oldest president ever coming into office. Today is Joe Biden's birthday.
We have a president representing our country at the most important time in history who is physically and mentally challenged.
He's 78, and he will have responsibility for this generation of young people.
Okay, now, Joe Biden is the oldest president on the face of the earth. And when you the oldest president on the face of the earth and you're white, right? And you're a Democrat, which is home of the racist party, some of your history have racism to it, have racist comments to it, right? So Joe Biden history have racist comments. Some of the most racist comments a politician ever said openly. Way more racist than Donald Trump, who get accused of being a racist on an everyday basis. But Joe Biden history, his 78-year-old history, he have a history of being racist.
I would love to have a conversation about Joe Biden's record versus Donald Trump's record. Can we please have that conversation on national TV?
Because Joe Biden has a record of history. I mean, a history of racism. He have a history of saying racist shit. He even have a history of doing racist shit to a generation of people with the 94 crime bill. Joe Biden history shows he doesn't like black people. Remember, you know what I'm saying? Y'all are what do you call them? The deplorables, huh? You have no redemption. Joe Biden said all of that. Joe Biden have the most racist. He got more racist comments than Donald Trump. He got more racist comments than Harriet Truman. He got more Lyndon Johnson. You name the president. Joe Biden got more racist comments than that president ever. Joe Biden, the most racist president ever in history. You voted for him. You take the responsibility.
Fox News, the CNN, the ABC, this is a record that the president will win on. Think about the 1994 crime bill that disproportionately targeted African-American males. What did President Trump do? He came back with the First Step Act and said, we are going to have fairness in sentencing. We're going to help people who are coming out not return. That is a form of compassion that can be measured by the lives changed.
You know,
What did Joe Biden do compassionate towards black? Huh? You gonna call abortion rights compassionate to who? The baby? Right? I forgot to put that in. Joe Biden administration is the most pro-abortion administration in the history of administrations. The most pro-abortion. Think about it. Have never been an abortion more pro-abortion than Joe. Huh? Add that up to the history of Joe Biden making history as one of the most racist presidents, the oldest president in the history of presidents. Huh?
You know, a comment like this, the one Joe Biden made on the Breakfast Club, would have some consequences for him when it comes to voters. But the thing is, when you look back in history, this is not the first time that Joe Biden has made a comment like that, and he continues to get away with it.
Poor kids are just.
Did you hear that? History. This is Joe Biden history. Poor kids are just as smart as dumb kids. Smart kids are just as smart as white kids.
You're just as bright and just as talented as white kids, wealthy kids, black
Wealthy
kids, Asian kids. He's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains.
I've had a great relationship. In Delaware, the largest growth in population is Indian Americans moving from India. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin'.
Oh, what the hell? What the hell?
Population is Indian Americans moving from India. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
Wow.
Huh? Joe Biden has a racist history past. That's just some of the shit Joe Biden said that was racist. We didn't put all the shit. I couldn't find all the shit. I didn't have enough video to do all the shit because Joe Biden got too much history that we don't talk about. We didn't talk about his age. That's history. We don't talk about his racism. That's history. Huh?
So this is a pattern of behavior. Will it matter to voters this time around?
A pattern, right? Joe Biden also made history with his cabinet. Joe Biden made history with his cabinet. Joe Biden was the first person ever to do what he done. History. Remember, Joe Biden, I'm telling you, Joe Biden is making the history. He gonna be in the history books. Joe Biden gonna be in the history book 50 times. Huh? This is part of history. Joe Biden is part of world history. He is part of United States history. He cemented himself. Huh?
I committed that if I'm elected president, have an opportunity to appoint someone to the courts, I'll appoint the first black woman to the courts.
That's history. Will you appoint the first black woman to a court? Nigga, that's history. Joe Biden is making history. Joe Biden did it. Joe Biden made the history.
It's required that they have representation now. It's long overdue.
The history made. The president nominating Judge.
History. Did you hear him? He said history. Joe Biden made history. You can't deny it. The history made. Joe Biden made. You can't take that away from Smoking Joe.
Ketanji Brown Jackson to become the first black woman to serve on the Supreme Court.
Secondly, if I'm elected president, my cabinet, my administration will look like the country.
Whoa, Joe, what you mean? Joe, you gonna make some more history? Is Joe Biden gonna make more history? What do you mean, Joe?
At the White House today, President Biden standing beside two history-making black women.
Whoa, Joe Biden making history. You standing by two black women in the White House. That's history. No president ever done it before. It's history.
Nominating Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson to serve on the nation's highest court.
And who was the other black woman, though? Who was the other supposed to be black woman?
Commit that I will, in fact, I'll pick a woman to be vice president.
Oh, Joe Biden making history again. Don't say it, Joe. Don't do it. You killing them with the Guinness Book of World Records ain't gonna have all the pages enough for them to write your name in, Joe. Don't keep making history, Joe. Leave us alone, Joe, with all this history.
Kamala Harris is set to become the first woman and first person of Black and South Asian descent to be elected to that role in the U.S.
Woo! Cooler King say, you are showing too much information, too much truth. They finna cancel you. Well, let me get my donations in before they cancel me. Get your donations in before they cancel me, before all this truth, right? Joe Biden making history, Cooler King. What are you talking about, Cooler King? I'm just saying what Joe Biden doing. Joe Biden is the greatest president ever. He's making history. Do you know how many times they say Joe Biden made history? Huh? I'm just reporting. I'm just a messenger.
There are a number of women who are qualified to be president tomorrow. I would pick a woman to be my vice president. Madam Speaker, Madam Vice President.
Oh, Joe Biden making history again. First, he got two black women, right? A judge and the vice president in the back of him. Now he made two more histories with Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, and the Vice President. Oh, don't do it, Joe. This is another first, Joe. Joe killing them with the first. Joe is killing you. Donald Trump ain't never done no shit like this. This is all Joe.
No president has ever said those words from this podium. No president has ever said those words.
Only Joe. Joe was the first one to ever say, Madam Speaker and Madam Vice President. Joe Biden. It wasn't Donald Trump. It wasn't Barack Obama. It wasn't Bill Clinton. It wasn't none of them. Huh? Bill Clinton could have been the first person that done this. He could have hit that bitch Hillary on, like, bitch, run for vice president. We're going to be the first woman, and I'm going to be the first man. I already got this first one out the way. I'm finna drop the vice president, and you jump your ass in. We'll be the first husband and wife, vice president, and president team. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be the first woman. And then you can ease your way up into the presidency. But Bill Clinton was getting his head and his dick sucked too much in the White House to think of some intelligent shit like that. Bring that hoe along. Bring that whole along. And if y'all like this video, be like Cooler King and donate a nigga $1 or $2, because this right here is the truth. If you donate $1 or $2, you can be part of history too, because this is history. This is Joe Biden history.
And it's about time.
Just to be clear, you just committed here tonight that your running mate, if you get the nomination, will be a woman?
Yes.
Yeah, bitch, he committed history.
First openly
Wait a minute. Joe Biden ain't through yet. Y'all think Joe Biden is just through making history? Joe Biden ain't through making history? What do you mean? Joe Biden owned the whole fucking Guinness Book of World Records for history. What do you mean? What do you mean?
transgender federal official will be confirmed by the U.S. Senate.
Expertise that is needed. She would be the first openly transgender federal official if confirmed by the U.S. Senate.
Wait a minute. Joe Biden got the first openly transgender U.S. in the Senate. What? He got the first. Rachel Levine is the first transgender ever in that position. Joe Biden did it. Joe Biden is second. He got more records in the book than fucking Tom Brady. Joe Biden got more records than Joe Montana, than Michael Jordan, than LeBron James, all rolled into one. Nobody has these records. Who else will put a transgender in this position right here? Oh, Joe Biden is not done yet doing history. He's not
aware that my presence at this podium represents a few firsts. I am a Black, gay, immigrant woman, the first of all three of those to hold this position.
Whoa! What do you mean? Joe Biden done another first? A first openly Black immigrant woman? What? Joe Biden don't keep on doing this to it. Joe Biden don't keep on. If Joe Biden set another record of history, we're going to have to turn this motherfucker off before they bust us, right? We can't give you all this game. If Joe Biden make one more motherfucking history-making move, it's too much for this computer to take.
I would not be here today if it were not for generations of barriers.
Why you got to read that shit off the paper, bitch? Why the fuck you got to read how you got motivated to get into the White House? You're not the nigga press secretary. Sergeant Moe the nigga press secretary. The gay immigrant press secretary. You know what I'm saying? How in the fuck is you going to get into the press secretary thing and you got to read off a report? My motivation was... Sergeant Moe ain't got to do no shit like that. Sergeant Moe, like, my nigga gave me this position. That's it. The interview over. Huh? The nigga Sergeant Moe said, hey, that's my position. Interview over. He didn't need no interview. Oh, I was motivated and I went to this program and I was motivated by my African roots and I came here from the United States and I ate all the pussy on the way like Pac-Man and shit like that. Oh, Slaphead, what's up with the donation? Slaphead liked the video. You know what I'm saying? Slaphead came and throw. Slaphead, no, he can't. Slaphead, like, nigga, you make too many videos for me to donate it. Slaphead, if you donate to every damn video, you'll be broke. Slaphead come through when he come through. Be like Slaphead and donate $1 whenever you can. You know what I'm saying? Be like Slaphead, my dude. Look, what Slaphead say? I want to be a part of history. Woo! Slaphead want to be a part of history. Well, Slaphead, if Joe Biden do one more, I'm telling you, Slaphead, I'm going to turn this motherfucker off. If I hear Joe Biden make history one more time, I'm turning this motherfucker off.
barrier-breaking people before me. I stand on their shoulders. If it were not for generations of barrier-breaking people,
you got to read it off the card, and you stuttering. If it wasn't for people that what, bitch, you reading off a card, and you posted already pre-read it, proofread it before you even came out. I'm a comedian. I proofread the shit, then I go on the stage and perform. You mean to tell me, bitch, I can remember some jokes, bitch, but you can't remember admirational speech? What's wrong with this hoe? Huh? But I know Joe Biden better not break another record. I turn this motherfucker off.
Before me, I would not be here.
Well, delivering on a promise to diversify his cabinet, President-elect Joe Biden has made history yet again.
What? Joe Biden made history. You know what? I'm going to turn this motherfucker off. Joe Biden ain't going to keep making history on this motherfucking channel. Huh? Joe Biden is the oldest president. Huh? Got the most racist comment, hired the first transgender, hired the first gay, hired the first vice president, hired the first judge. You mean to tell me he hiring somebody else? What the fuck is wrong with Joe breaking all these records?
Choosing the first Latino and immigrant to head up Homeland Security.
He got a Latino, he got an Asian, he got a transgender, right? What the fuck? He got a Latino. What the Latino job, and who is he, and what is his job? What is his main job description? I need to know that. The Latino that you hired, you know what I'm saying? The first Latino ever. I need to see what his job is.
If confirmed, Alejandro Mayorkas' new job would include making decisions regarding immigration and U.S. border security.
Wait a minute, nigga. You got an immigrant in charge of border security? No wonder the border's so fucked up. He done made history as being the first immigrant. You got all these motherfucking immigrants in the press conference, in the speaking in the press secretary and shit. You got them guarding the border and shit. You got all the motherfucking immigrants. Oh, no wonder you talking about, I want the administration to look just like the country, full of immigrants. You and gay people, you son of a bitch. Huh? You want your administration to represent America. You got, where the Crips and the Bloods at? Huh? Where the Cholos at? Huh? Where my rednecks at? You ain't got no rednecks in that motherfucker. You trying to say ain't no rednecks in America, nigga? Ain't no Crips and Bloods in the White House? Much as shooting we do around this motherfucker, it ain't no, it is a hoe up in there. It's Kamala Harris. I was say, ain't no hoes up in there, no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But it is a hoe up in there. But ain't no rednecks, ain't no motherfucking, you got a Latinx up in there, but you ain't got no Cholo. They don't represent America. Put my grandmother in the White House. Put a Crip in the White House. And you wanted to represent, put her in charge of gang violence. Not to stop it, to keep the shit going. Huh? Because that's what y'all want anyway. Huh? Put my baby mama in charge of abortions. You know what I'm saying? And not the operating and getting the baby out. Every time somebody want to have sex, they look at her ass and think twice. You know what? I don't even want to have sex no more. That's aborting the baby before the baby is even perceived. We with that baby. We with aborting the baby before the baby even perceived. Look at it and throw the fuck up and say, that's it. My baby mama just saved another life. Huh? Put my baby mama on a condom app or a phone app or some shit. Uh-oh, Blazer 101. What's up, Blazer 101? Send a nigga a donation. Blazer 101 want to be part of this history. Blazer 101, let's get into Joe Biden history because he ain't through making history yet, Blazer 101. Huh? He ain't through making history yet? You think he through making history? Hell no.
I heard the other day that they're coming because they know I'm a nice guy and I won't.
What? You mean to tell me Joe Biden on the border record too? Wait a minute, Joe Biden. You mean to tell me you got the oldest motherfucking record, you got a racist record, you got the transgender record, you got the immigrant record for the hiring in the gay house, you got the Mexican on the border record, Now you mean to tell me you got the Mexicans crossing the border record too? Nigga, you are out of control.
They're seeing
this.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. They're not.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott blaming the White House for the surge.
So the Biden administration's open border policies have led to a record number of illegal immigrants crossing the border into the United States.
Wait a minute. Do you know what a record is? A record means it's never been done before. Joe Biden you mean to tell me Joe Biden has broke another record for immigration? Joe Biden can't keep on breaking records. He's the greatest president ever. He broke another record. And Donald Trump talking about he be breaking records. Ain't that a bitch?
Would you have tried to do this when Donald Trump was president?
Definitely not. In Mexico, immigration officials recording a massive increase in Cubans entering the
Well, you heard what they say. They say they definitely wouldn't have tried that shit under Donald Trump. So Donald Trump didn't break that record. The only record he broke was keeping motherfuckers out the country. Huh? That's the record he broke. It wasn't no 2.5 million coming over here. It wasn't no gotaways or unattained or immigrant or surrenders or none of that shit over there. They said, look, we wasn't coming over this son of a bitch when Donald Trump. Oh, who sent me a donation? Margie. Thank you, Margie. Margie sent a nigga donation because Margie want to be a part of history. Huh? Not immigration history. She want to be a part of American Joe Biden history. Everybody hop on this bandwagon and be part of this Joe Biden bandwagon. Like Margie. Margie on the Joe Biden bandwagon. She want to be part of Joe Biden history. If you want to be part of Joe Biden history, you still have chance. You want to be part of the greatest administration, the most transparent administration, the administration that look more like America than any body in the face of the earth, any administration. Huh, Margie? This is the best administration ever. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. Just look at the record of border crossings. Ain't no other president done no shit like this. He's the best.
country from 6,000 in October to 9,000 in November and 11,000 in December of 2021. 2 months later, the U.S. Border Patrol recording 16,000 Cuban apprehensions in February. That's the highest ever recorded for a single month.
Is anybody keeping a record of Joe Biden records? That's got to be like 10 records already. That got to be like 10 records he done broke already. Huh? He done broke the immigration record in the month. He done broke the immigration record in the year. He done broke the immigration record as the president. He done broke the immigration death record. He done broke the immigration getaway record. Right? He done broke the child Margie. He done broke the child trafficking record. You name the fucking record and he broke it. Did you hear what they say? It's the most Cubans detained ever. That means he on that record. When you do something, you the first to do it. That means you the best. That means you the best. If you the first person to do it, that means you are the best at it. Joe Biden is the best at border crossings. Ain't no other president can do it like him. No other president. He's the best. Oh,
es más fácil.
Ken Cool. What's up? Ken Cool want to be part of history. Ken Cool say, nigga, you ain't gonna leave me out. I want to be part of the Joe Biden history too. Well, Ken Cool, you are part of the motherfucking Joe Biden history because this is American history. Joe Biden is American history. He's changing America. And even, you know what? You know what, Ken Cool? Even the immigrants said, Ken Cool, they like, you know what? I'm over here because Joe Biden said it. He said it's the best time in history to come to America. Huh? It's the best time in history to immigrate. Cool King, don't take my word for it. Take their word for it.
Fácil con el nuevo presidente.
Before, I couldn't come, he says, but the new president gave us an opportunity.
You hear that, Ken Cool, Marjorie? You hear that? You hear that, slaphead? Y'all hear that? That's not me saying it. That's him. You hear that, Cooler King? Huh? That's not me saying it. That's the SA saying it. They say, look, man, why are you coming over here? Because Joe Biden told me to. That's why. Joe Biden is the greatest president in the history of Mexico. That's why I'm coming over here.
viendo ahorita porque el nuevo presidente o
because of the new law from the president, the greatest president ever, Joe Biden, that will allow us to pass. They even know the laws. Look, they know the laws better than us. Be like, hold on, bitch. What law they done passed that said you can come over here? They know law with a proposition, this clause and the immigration clause and the migrant clause and the renegade. They know every clause in the damn world. Huh? They know every one in the world, but we don't know shit. They know more codes and regulations and how to beat the code. Oh, Joe Biden passed another law. What law? The law y'all don't know about that we got? What? They know about laws. What law they passed, bitch? Tell us.
The nationalities now that we're seeing cross, especially last month, is Mexicans, who are by and large sent back into Mexico, but also Cubans and Ukrainians.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me these are all records? More Hispanics, more Cuban, and more Ukrainian? You mean to tell me Joe Biden has broke a record for immigrants on 3 different races of people? Joe Biden has to be the greatest president ever. Who else part of history? Nuts? Oh, I should have known Nudge was going to be part of history. I should have known Nudge is going to be part of history. What's good? Coming to you live from the land down under. Austin. Good day, mate. Do anybody know a kangaroo? And you can look. If you don't believe me, you can ask Nudge. A kangaroo got 3 pussies. The most pussies in history. Like Joe Biden. Huh? Do anybody know that? I bet y'all didn't know that. A kangaroo got 3 pussies. Am I lying, Nudge? Tell me, and Hunter Biden will fuck every one of them. Huh? Hunter Biden will fuck every kangaroo pussy a kangaroo got. A kangaroo got 3 different pussies. Huh? You didn't know I was genius like that, did you, Nudge? But Joe Biden has let all these Ukrainians, Mexicans, Cubans, all these people in. And you paying for them. Nudge, your taxpayer, look, Nudge, out of the donation you finna give me, I gotta send $1 to the Cubans, I gotta send $1 to the Ukrainians, and I gotta send $1 to the Hispanics. That shit coming out of my paycheck. And I gotta put $2 on gas. Huh? The most in history, you son of a bitch. You listening?
Those are now the top 3 nationalities.
We understand that because we have in our southern border thousands of people a day. Literally, figuratively, trying to get into the United States.
Prometió que sí pasaba así con menores.
Do you think that you have a better chance now?
Sí.
¿Por qué no vinieron cuando estaba el presidente Donald Trump?
Like, hell no, Donald Trump ain't giving nobody no opportunity. That nigga ain't playing. We over here because of Joe Biden. Right? Look, the immigrants knew not to fuck with Trump. Think about this. The immigrants knew not to test Trump. They were scared of Trump. Not giving us no opportunity. Would you try this over Donald Trump? Hell no. Look, how in the fuck do the Hispanics know not to come over here with Donald Trump? Don't even try. They didn't even try. It wasn't no getting caught. It wasn't no turning yourself in. It wasn't paying no coyotes. You'd have wasted your motherfucking money paying a coyote. They didn't even try. These what they're telling you. We didn't even try. It was no use. Donald Trump had the border sold the fuck up. Mexican soldiers locked up, cages, walls, gates. He has the motherfucker on lock. They didn't, that tells you the policy, right? The immigrants say we didn't even fucking try.
So did you come here because Joe Biden was elected president?
Yes.
Basically.
1,416 border encounters in May. Since October, it's been 1.5 million or more.
We believe that we, the United States, should do our part relative to Ukraine as well by opening our borders to another 100,000 people.
Woo! Open our borders to another 100,000 people. Huh? Ukrainians, huh? Ukrainians.
It's very different from immigration trends we've seen in the past. And from officials I've spoken to inside DHS, they say because of Cuba's policy of not accepting back people who come to the United States.
Cuban is not accepting them back. Remember when Donald Trump made motherfucking country take them back? Cuba is starting the policy again as not taking their people back when they come over here. So the United States forced to keep them. Donald Trump made them motherfuckers go back. No, you going back to your country. We don't give a fuck.
States, they instead are taking them in. It's not logical or logistical to push them back under Title 42. So they're taking them in, and they say that's driving more Cubans, as well as political and natural disasters in Cuba that have led these people to come here. And of course, Ukrainians, these are people fleeing Ukraine. And because the Biden administration hasn't yet set up a very quick and expeditious way to get people here legally, they're crossing the border illegally instead.
I bet you that water is some dirty shit. I bet you that water, the Gran Rio water, got shit and piss and diseases and cow shit and monkey shit. I bet you got all kind of shit up in there, right? But that's not all, y'all. Right? Y'all think Joe Biden is through breaking records? Huh? You think the border record was just the end of it? You think Joe Biden ain't broke no other records? Huh? Joe Biden broke inflation records for food. There's never been some shit like this with food. Joe Biden breaking records, y'all. Hold on. Let me get to this record Joe Biden broke.
Dalhousie says food prices, they're going to go up about 7% next year.
The highest
jump in a decade.
Huh? Joe Biden is breaking records. How many presidents you knew in history of presidency had food prices jump up higher than they have in 10 years? History making Joe Biden. That's it. No other president. Huh? No other president has the ability to do this. Only Joe.
This together. First off, this will be the most expensive Thanksgiving in history. It'll probably be the most expensive Christmas in history.
Huh? The most expensive Thanksgiving in history? The most expensive Christmas in history. You just experienced that. Thanks to Joe Biden, y'all was a part of history. So when somebody say, hey, was you ever part of history? Say, hell yeah. I lived through the most expensive Christmas and the most expensive Thanksgiving ever under Joe Biden. Huh? This was the most expensive Thanksgiving in the history of Thanksgiving. In the history. All the things since the motherfucking pilgrims went over there or came over here or whoever came over where and done whatever to the pilgrims and they broke bread and taught them how to farm and all of those shit, right? But that was cheap because they broke bread, so they was getting the stuff from the earth and they was doing all that old shit. So it was cheap back then, so they had to buy nothing when they was breaking bread. But right now, you got to go to Walmart, you got to go to Ralph's, you got to go to Food Flex, you got to get all that shit, and it's the highest it's ever been in the history of food, nigga. You bought it. Thanks, Joe Biden.
With today's excellent jobs report and unemployment remaining at near historic lows.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Joe Biden got historic job low number. Remember, everything is history with Joe Biden. Joe Biden got historic job numbers. Did you just hear him? His job numbers are historic. Huh? You are living amongst the greatest president ever. It's never been a president. Donald Trump never had no historic job numbers like Joe Biden. The greatest president ever. The economy is fucked up. We're in inflation, but we in the greatest job numbers ever. You hear him?
Near historic lows of 3.6%.
Think about a typical family. The first thing they want to do is they want to get together. So first they have to do is say, gosh, what's gas cost?
This morning, gas prices soaring to the highest average ever recorded.
Oh, wait a minute. We got another record, huh? We got another record. You want to go and visit your people, right? Well, gas is the highest it's ever been. That's also a record, ain't it? That's also history. Stop me when I'm lying. This is history. Gas has never been this high in the history of gases. We done been in all kind of wars. We done had all kind of Vladimir Putins. We done had all kind of... And we never had gas this motherfucking high. This is the history, right? And this is history 4 months ago. Joe Biden keep repeating history because guess what? It was high then. It is higher now.
$4.17 a gallon.
Tops.
I wish the gas was $4.17 a gallon now. This motherfuckers wish gas was $4, and that was a record at $4.17. Remember them days, y'all? Remember when you look up the gas and like, damn, gas is high as $4.17. Remember them days? You used to go past a gas station that was $4.17 because it's one down the street that was $3.99. Remember them days? The good old days, like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, a year ago. Remember them good old days when the gas was at its all-time high and it broke a record of $4.17? Them days are long gone. Them motherfuckers gone. $4.17. Somebody will kill for $4 worth of gas right now. $4.17 a gallon. Somebody kill for some shit like that. $4.17? Nigga, a dude told me today, who's the M-Dub, a dude told me today he had a full tank of gas and I almost wanted to rob his ass. I thought he was bragging. He like, man, I got a full tank of gas. I'm like, somebody give me the 38. M-Dub, if you was there, I was like, pass me the strap, M-Dub. Get the strap, M-Dub. This nigga got a full tank. Get the strap. Nobody got no full tank of gas like this. Who the fuck got a full tank of gas in this economy? Uh-oh, somebody sent me a PayPal. Who sent me a PayPal? Somebody sent me a PayPal. They say this is good. Let me read the message on PayPal right quick. Can't leave a oh, damn, I skipped that. Oh, she sent me a heart. Oh, Sharon Goldman. I didn't know you could send a heart on PayPal. Thank you, Sharon. You got a big ass heart. It got the fingers and shit. I wish y'all could see this. I ain't never saw this, Sharon. I never saw nobody send me fingers with a damn heart. Oh, that is so sweet. I'm gonna cry, Sharon. I'm gonna cry. I think I'm gonna cry, Sharon. Thank you. But anyway, back to the show, Sharon. Hope you're still listening. Hope you're still there. Thank you for the PayPal donation. But do you hear this, Sharon? He's breaking records. Your president is breaking records. You have the greatest president ever, Sharon, that is your president right now.
$5 a gallon for the first time in history.
Now, experts say don't expect these prices to go down anytime soon.
There's no denying that high prices.
Because it got the greatest economy ever, right? And it's the highest record of gas in history. Highest recorded price of gas in history. Joe Biden, we're not finished yet.
Prices, particularly around gasoline and food, are a real problem for people.
Get together. Number two, anybody that's putting on the meal, unbelievable increase in prices.
As a result, the average family of four can expect to pay about $966 more for food next year.
And Texas Deplorable, thank you for the donation on the Cash App. I just got your donation, Texas Deplorable. If you're still on listening, you know what I'm saying, Texas Deplorable, I know you know about gas because gas is big in Texas. I already know you know about gas. You doing a whole lot better than me, Texas Deplorable, when it comes to gas because y'all produce gas. So I know gas like at its lowest, probably like $5 a gallon. With Texas Deplorable, I got to pay $7 for gas. I ain't even like going nowhere no more. Ooh-wee.
But there's every reason for the American people to feel confident that we'll meet these challenges. Because of the enormous progress we've made on the economy, the Americans can tackle inflation from a position of strength.
That's historic. Did you hear them? The historic gains we made with the economy. Right? So we making historic gains with the economy. You're part of history, y'all. Joe Biden has made you part of history. Historic.
Number three, I know what my mom used to do when we were kids. She'd turn down the how much heat we had. So it was colder. I mean, she turned it down at night because she couldn't afford the heating oil. That's going to happen all across the country.
Because energy is also at its highest. I don't know if it's at its highest in history, right? I don't know I didn't find them numbers, but as a percentage in the way that the energy jumping from month to month, right? It is at its highest, right? As a jump in the percentage as the time it jumped, right? So thanks to Joe Biden, we also got the highest jump in a month in energy ever. Another Joe Biden record. Keep it coming, Joe.
We've laid an economic foundation that's historically strong. And now we're moving forward to a new moment where we can build on that foundation, build a future of stable, steady growth so we can bring down inflation without sacrificing all the historic gains we've made.
Oh, historic gains. Did you hear Joe Biden say he got historic gains? So that's another notch in his belt, right? So whenever you talk Joe Biden, say Joe Biden, the king of historic gains, right? Because Joe Biden has his job creation, his economy, and the way he's run the country is historic. These are the words coming out of his mouth. We're in the best position to fight inflation, right? Because we have so many historic gains under Joe Biden. Them are his words, not mine. Don't hate the messenger, hate the message.
And that's what we're beginning to see in today's jobs report.
Our military is being given to the enemy.
Oh, wait a minute. Did y'all forgot? Joe Biden had the worst withdrawal from a country, can you say it with me? In history. The worst withdrawal. The Afghanistan withdrawal was the worst withdrawal. Can y'all say it with me one more time? In history. You can type it down if you want to in all caps. Joe Biden Afghanistan withdrawal was the worst in history. So give Joe Biden another notch up under his belt for the worst extraction in the history. But Joe Biden said his extraction from Afghanistan, can you say it with me, was historic. Joe Biden said, my withdrawal from Afghanistan was historic. These are his words, not mine. So you got to put another historic notch under Joe Biden's belt.
20 years of war in Afghanistan. The longest war in American history.
History!
It is, Stuart. Good morning. The worst strategic, operational, and tactical decision in the history of this.
History! Joe Biden said it was the best. Everybody else said it was the worst. Remember the word history. That means Joe Biden is the first or the best to do it. Joe Biden says it's the biggest distraction in history. He's saying it's the worst in history. Which one do you believe?
Country by Commander-in-Chief, who I believe is derelict in his duty, aided by the Secretary of Defense and General Milley. I think they all need to step aside.
We completed one of the biggest airlifts in history.
Huh?
With more than 120,000 people evacuated to safety.
I bet y'all didn't know how many. I bet y'all didn't realize how many times Joe done something that ain't never been done before. I bet y'all didn't realize that. Y'all been watching him all this time. You know, I would have got some of the Wuhan they didn't put on this motherfucking history, but I didn't want to get my channel blocked, right? But I would have put some of, you know, it's a whole lot of history sets up in that too, but I didn't want to go there, right? I could have went there. If there's another channel, I would have went there and would have put all them historical stats up there too on history. Remember, history, deaths, history, all. I don't want to go there. But it was also history. Joe Biden made history. The historic-making president. The historics just don't stop.
They have put Americans at risk outside the Kabul airport by giving up Bagram before we were able to get everybody out of there.
Since I spoke to you on Monday, we've made significant progress. We've secured the airport, enabling flights to resume, not just military flights, but civilian charters and from other countries, and the NGOs taking out civilians and vulnerable Afghans.
The Taliban say we, America, cannot extend our evacuation effort beyond August 31st.
This is one of the largest, most difficult airlifts in history.
How many times you gonna say it, y'all? Can you say it with Joe? History, 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 history. Huh? You know what history is? His story. That's all the fuck it is. His story. His lie. His story. Keep on saying it, Joe.
It seems like, therefore, we're being run out of town by the Taliban.
This is the greatest humiliation I've ever seen.
And the only country in the world capable of projecting this much power on the far side of the world with this degree of precision is the United States of America.
Biden's botched exit in Afghanistan is the most astonishing display of gross incompetence by a nation's leader, perhaps at any time that anybody's ever seen. Name another situation like this.
And you know what that means, right? That means in history, right? It was the worst in the history of the military. Everybody know it. You know it. He know it. Joe know it.
That's exactly right. They're mocking us. I tell people all the time, as a former commanding general, you can delegate all of your authority, but none of your responsibility. This is on President Biden.
Vietnam looks like a masterclass in strategy compared to Joe Biden's catastrophe.
This is an absolute debacle. I pray for those 10,000 plus Americans there that we need to get out.
And it didn't have to happen. All he had to do is leave the soldiers there until everything's out. Our citizens, our weapons. Then you bomb the hell out of the bases. We have 5 bases. And you say, bye-bye.
And have
bye-bye, everything gone. But since you didn't bomb it, and since you didn't do that, guess what happened? Now you have the worst withdrawal of a military in the United States history. And now that's the reason why we in Russia now. It's the reason we in Russia now. Because of the worst military withdrawal in the history of the military withdrawals. Joe Biden.
Having a deadline imposed on us by a terrorist organization is not something Americans are used to.
You say bye-bye. The scene of those big giant planes taking off with people hanging on the sides and falling off, there'll never be anything like that.
We're used to leading, and we're definitely not leading with Biden in charge.
That's worse than the helicopters. You remember the helicopters taking off the roofs? This blows it away. Not even a contest. This will go down as one of the great military defeats of all time. And
all time. That means history. Why does Joe Biden keep on making history? Y'all didn't know how much Joe Biden made history. And all this is history. All this shit is going in the history book. Everything I'm saying right now on this whole video is going in the history books. The war, the inflation, the president, the vice president, the judges, the gas prices, the food prices, the hikes, everything I'm saying in this video is going in the history books.
It did not have to happen that way. This is not a withdrawal. This was a total surrender.
For many cities.
Wait, speaking of surrender, what about the cops? We're not talking about Joe Biden, right? Got the highest crime and the murder rates in not in the history, but the highest jump in the history, highest crime rise in the history of crime. We didn't forget about them numbers. We didn't forget about that part of history. More murders, more robberies, more all of that than any time in history. Let's get into it.
For many cities, big and small, this has been the deadliest year ever. In Philadelphia alone, more than 520 homicides, breaking a record that had stood for over 30 years.
What? You mean to tell me Joe Biden is breaking homicide records too? Under Joe Biden watch, is homicide record, is crime records too? How many records is Joe Biden gonna break? Crime ain't been this bad in 30 years. The highest homicide rate in this many years under Joe Biden. Under Joe Biden. Y'all tell me when Joe Biden do something good. I'll wait.
People have got to be held accountable for their own actions.
IMPD Chief Randall Taylor admits 2021 has been a difficult year for crime in Indianapolis.
The city shattered its all-time homicide record, which now sits at around 270.
City of Los Angeles hits a sobering number, more than 300 murders so far this year. It's the highest number in more than a decade.
Huh? All around the world, same song. All around the world, same song. People getting killed and murdered. All around the world, same song. Huh? What is they doing in LA? What is they doing in LA? What is they doing in Chicago? What is they doing in Philadelphia? What is they doing in Indiana? What is they doing in these cities? They killing. And guess who dying? Black people. So when they say, I mean, they're not going to say it because they want to take all the racial tones out of it. So when they say crime and murder, right, is on the rise, guess what they're saying? The death of black men is on the rise. The killing of black men, because 90% of them murders are black people. So they're not talking about they're not talking about the people that's getting murdered, right? And at the alarming rate, it's the highest ever. Think about this. It's the highest ever. So that means the violence on black men is at an all-time high. But ain't nobody saying nothing about it. And ain't nobody doing nothing about it because they want it to happen. They not say, they don't say, oh, it's a rise on black men getting killed and black men are dying at an alarming rate. It's a lot of fatherless kids out there because black men are getting killed. You know what I'm saying? We need to stop this genocide, or, you know, we need to stop this because after a little while, it's not going to be enough black men out here to reproduce the black race. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be incarcerated and dead and shit like that. And kids going to be growing up fatherless and women going to be growing up husbandless and shit like that. We got to put a stop to this. But no, let the shit go because they killing each other at record numbers 2 years straight. These ain't white people dying. These ain't Asian people dying. It's a couple of Hispanic people dying. These are black people dying. Look at it. 90% of the homicide, people of homicide, is black. And guess how many? And guess what? Only 2% of the country is doing it. The black people between that age, right? Between that age, from 16 to 35, right? Right? From that age, that do that. We're not talking about the black men that's in college. We're not talking about the black men that's working. We're not talking about the black men that's whatever they not doing. But it's only 2% of the country that are responsible for all them murders. The 2% is a lot, right? The 2% is a lot of people. It's a couple of 100,000 people, right? It's a couple of 100,000, but it's only 2% of the people that's caught up in that shit. You concentrate on that 2% and get them out the way. The other 98% of the world of the country can live prosperous. But they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. You got to do the numbers. The numbers never lie. Let's get into it, right? We're not only talking about crime. We also talking about what comes with crime.
The police chief says the murders are happening in the areas hurting the most by the pandemic.
Its overuse exceeds the deaths caused by car crashes, even guns, and even the flu.
And what are we talking about? Huh? We're talking about the drug, or the historic drug, that under Joe Biden has killed more Americans than any other drug at any other time in the history of America. Coming from where? The border, where it's a history of people coming over, a record number of people coming over. Huh? Right? So you got crime that's out of control, the worst probably in history, where black people dying, right? Now we finna get into where a lot of white teenagers are dying, right? Because the number one death right now of white teenagers age 16 to 35 is overdose. Huh? It's overdoses. 16 to 35 for white kids is overdoses. It's not gang violence. It's not heart disease, car crashes, not none of that. It's overdoses. So Joe Biden is not doing nothing for the people that's overdosing, and he's not doing nothing for the people that's shooting and killing each other. Right? people that died on both ends. Who was that? Rebecca Gillard to send me a donation from the 707. Oh, Biden breaking records like golden. Oh, why you had to say that, Rebecca? Why you had to throw the Golden State up in there? Huh? You had to throw the Golden State up in there because they won a title. Okay, Rebecca. Y'all want a title. Wait till we get our shit back healthy. Wait till the Clippers or Lakers get their shit back healthy. But we don't want to go into that right now, Rebecca, with your hating self, with your celebrating ass. Huh? Probably went to a parade and everything. But anyway, Rebecca, how is it that Joe Biden is not doing, and I know it's going down in the 707. We hear about it all the time. It's going down in the 707, right, with drugs and gangs. But why not doing nothing about the drug violence? I mean, the drugs and the gang violence. It's knocking off people. He don't give a fuck. That's another record. Fentanyl is another record held by Joe Biden.
It is now one of the top 10 reasons for deaths in America.
Ever for drug overdoses in American history. More than 100,000 people died from a drug overdose.
Yeah, and local rehab clinics are seeing a sharp spike in people begging for help.
And people, look, think about this. People are overdosing and people are begging for help. This right here place where they were talking about is overwhelmed with people trying to change their life and turn their life around. But what Biden say? No, we don't want to help you. We'll give you a smoking kit with some needles and a pipe. We're not going to give you anything to help you out. We'll give you something to hurt your ass. We ain't finna get nothing to help you out. These people are begging. The program got to extend extra beds like there was an immigrant camp. Right? But we don't want to help you. We don't want to help you get off drugs. We want to help you stay on. Do you hear what they're saying? People are begging to be helped. And the Biden administration ain't nowhere to be found.
I'm here at Crossroads. It's a rehab facility here in the Valley, and they said they're running out of space to help people who are trying to fight addiction, so much so that they're adding 16 rapid detox beds to their administration building of all places. They also plan to open one up in Scottsdale later next year.
How much government funding is they getting? How much government funding is they getting? Right, for drugs. But that's okay. Because remember, Joe Biden's still on the clock, right? Joe Biden's still breaking records. You know what record Joe Biden is going to help break this time? You know, I'm talking about future records now, right? We're going to talk about future records. We're going to talk about November, right? With Joe Biden low approval rating, it's going to be a red wave. And it'll probably be more Republicans sitting in the House and in the Senate than any time in the history of politicians or any time of elections. Thanks to Joe Biden. And the numbers add up. Joe Biden is he's going to be responsible for the biggest seat switch in the United States history.
So the crystal ball rates 7 Republican-held seats as toss-ups and another 3 as leaning to Republicans. What's clear is that Republicans are headed for major gains and potentially historic gains in November. And
historic? Did you hear what he's saying? Right? This is a historic video. Historic! Huh? Did you hear? I'm coming up with the history. Joe Biden is breaking records and he's going to break more records to come. History.
Things are getting worse, not better for Joe Biden and his party. There's one Republican seat that's listed as leaning to Democrats. Let's go over to the Democratic side.
With today's numbers, the jobs over the last 3 months have averaged about 400,000 jobs per month. That's historically robust.
That's historically robust. Joe Biden saying his job numbers are historically robust. Well, the numbers, we're not worried about them. You shouldn't be worried about them numbers. These are numbers you need to worry about, right? The Senate, the House, you know what I'm saying? And how your party is losing votes and people are switching there, and how your Congress and your Senate is going to lose seats. This is what you need to be worried about.
They have 21 seats rated as toss-ups and 14 seats as lean Democratic.
And a sign we're beginning to shift to steady growth after rapidly recovering 600,000 jobs per month over the prior 6 months.
Plus, the party has 8 seats already categorized as either leaning Republican and 3 seats as likely Republican. Do the math. And you see that Democrats have roughly 4 times as many very vulnerable House seats as do Republicans.
4 times. They got a possible 46. We got a possible 11. 46. This is probably going to be the biggest seat change in American politics history. Thank you, Joe Biden.
That's a sign of a healthy economy with steady growth, rising wages for working families, everyday cost easing up.
History suggests the scope of losses are going to be wide then for Democrats.
There are differences in what's going on with the Latino vote.
The history. And you know why? Because Joe Biden has lost the Hispanic vote. Joe Biden has lost the independent vote. Joe Biden has lost more support from Democrats and people who supported the Democrat than what? Than any time in history. The Hispanic vote has won Republican more than any other time in history. Joe Biden is losing support among Democratic territories and voters than any time in history. CNN is scared. The Democrats scared. They never saw no shit like this happen before. The Hispanic population has shifted more Republican and stopped supporting Democrat, and that is lowest numbers of support among the Democratic Party than what? Any time in history.
If you look at Texas, Florida, and Arizona, these are 3 districts that are a little bit, let's call them emblematic of what we're talking about. Florida, 27. This is the Miami-Dade area. It went from being Clinton by 19 in 2016 to Biden by just 3 in 2020. Texas, 15. That is on the Mexico border. Clinton, 16 to Biden plus 2. Arizona, this is the Tucson area. So Arizona is a place that some Democrats say think that helped Biden win that state. Absolutely. It went from Clinton 29 to Biden 27. So not a huge shift, but still in Texas and in Florida, there are big erosions happening, happening.
According to
with the Hispanic voters, with the Hispanic voters, they're leaving the party in droves. And you can say for the first time in history, you'll probably be right. This is historic. This is a historic video, right? What I'm telling you right now, right? Most of this stuff is going in the history books. Most of it is already in the history books or going in the history books. The most migrants going in the history books. Kamala Harris history books. The gay dude history books. The Mexican history books. The black, Asian, white, Filipino, Indian woman going in history books. Inflation history books, gas history books, food history books, immigration history books, retirement of police history books, police shortage on certain supplies history books, kids not in school history books. There's gonna be so many things that's gonna be in the history book of Joe Biden. I don't think they're gonna be able to write it all in one book. It's gonna have to be a sequel.
According to Gallup, the average seat loss for a president whose job approval is lower than 50% is 37 seats, and Joe Biden's approval rating is way under 50%.
And shrinking the deficit. That stability puts us in a strong position to tackle what is clearly a problem, inflation.
And the crystal ball is far from alone in making those sorts of projections. The Cook Political Report with Amy Walter, another widely respected political handicapping service, which was also my first job, carries dollars per gallon. If Republicans pick up 18 seats, the party would have a bigger majority than after the Gingrich-led Republican wave election.
Right, we're going into history, right? 18 is a small number. They say we're going to have way more than that, but we're going to 18. He said 18 will be a bigger number than the last red wave.
If Republicans netted 30 seats, it would mean a bigger majority than after the party's massive 63-seat gain in 2010.
In 2010, right? The massive seat change, right? If we get that many, right? It'd be massive. But we don't want to stop there.
Most presidents, I'm guessing, would say they don't pay attention to the polls. But does President Biden feel any concern that his approval rating is really pretty amazingly low and consistently low?
Lower than anybody's at this time in the history of politics. The history. We're only talking history on this show. That's all. We're not talking possibilities. We're talking about history. If you ain't part of history, if you ain't broke records, you're not getting mentioned. Your shit ain't getting mentioned on here. This is about history. Joe Biden.
And if Republicans got all the way to a 35-seat pickup, they would have their largest majority in 9 decades.
9 decades. What do you call that? That's history, ain't it? Right? History. This is about history. If we pick up, and that's possible. That's very possible. Very possible. That's kind of like a lowball number for us right there. Because some people predict them to 60 or 70 seats. He talking about 35.
9.
Amazingly low and consistently low. I believe today went under the average, went under 40% first time.
The president's focus on delivering for the American people. That's his focus right now.
At least at the moment. Republicans have every reason to be confident that they will not only retake the House majority in November, but also have a comfortable margin with which to govern in.
Huh? Which they're governing in. That's why they want to scare the shit out of the black vote, out of the Democratic vote, because they scared their democracy might be over. They're like, oh, they're going to end our democracy. You better get out and vote. Are they going to end our democracy? No, they're trying to scare because they know it's over. The numbers don't lie. When they can't beat you with the numbers, their last resort is to scare the shit out of you.
We've got to let these people understand that they've got skin in this game, and we got to scare the hell out of them, because quite frankly, Nicole, they should be afraid that we're going to lose our democracy.
It's only 24% of Hispanics, 39% of women, and under 50% of black voters approve of the president's job. So,
lowest, look at this, 24%, lowest ever. Women, probably the lowest ever. The black votes for a Democrat to doing his job, lowest ever. Lowest ever. Oh, they talking about a damn robot able to catch feelings. I gotta read up on this. Robot catching feelings. Ain't that a bitch? But this is the worst ever. Huh? Numbers don't lie. The Republicans better feel good about themselves with a president with this low-ass numbers.
So the advice coming from that analyst on another network is scare the heck out of people, make them think that our democracy is in jeopardy if they vote for Republicans. Yeah. Will it work?
Comes as inflation has reached a 40-year high.
A shortage of baby formula.
Wait a minute. We also forgot about the supply chain was the worst in history, right? It's not only a shortage on baby formula. Right, remember, it's a shortage on baby formula. The worst in history, baby formula. We never had this before. The worst, we never had a supply chain issue like this before. Another one of Joe Biden's best in history.
Nationwide has turned into a full-blown crisis. Parents frantically searching for formula by a recall and plant shutdown at Abbott Nutrition, causing a 43% out-of-stock rate nationwide. Now, President Biden is under pressure to fix it.
This is a process. We're working on it very, very hard. There's nothing more urgent we're working on.
I thought the gas was more urgent. I thought food prices was urgent. I thought how many things you working on really, really hard, and it's nothing more urgent to Joe Biden, because ain't nothing you working really, really hard seeming to get solved or fixed or bettered. Nothing.
Than that right now.
Now, with baby formula supply hitting serious lows all over the country. In the last 24 hours, Florida Representative Kat Cammack shared this photo of shelves at the border. Now, many are asking, are we sending stockpiles of formula to the border?
Yes. The answer is yes. Answer is hell yes. And under Joe Biden, it's not just baby milk, right? It's not just baby milk that's not being delivered or not in the stores. It's also women products.
of women know there's a shortage of tampons. Procter & Gamble, makers of Tampax products, told one news outlet that the supply problem is temporary and that the Tampax team is producing tampons 24/7 to meet the increased demand. But until shelves are fully stocked again, Consumer Reports says there are some alternatives to consider.
Baby formula to sriracha. There have been plenty of product shortages lately. Now we can add a new one to the list.
Right? You can do something else with and put something else in your pussy, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't put no tampons up in there. Put some toilet paper or a sock up. What kind of shit is that? Alternatives. Right? You mean to tell me the babies can't get no milk and the women can't get no tampons? Huh? Is this a war on pussy or something? What comes out what goes in the pussy and what comes out of a pussy? Is this a war on pussy in some kind of way? The Democrats don't like pussy? Okay. We're going to everything about pussy, we're going to put a war on it. What? I don't understand that.
President Biden's performance rate. Awful. I mean, I knew that was the answer. But the answer is awful. I mean, I'll compare it to Carter at this point in his presidency.
Right? Carter in his presidency, which was, what we call it? The worst in history. They saying Carter's was the worst in history. They saying Joe Biden surpassed that. So we are living in an era where we are experiencing the worst presidency ever. Right? Worse than Bush, worse than Clinton, worse than any other president that ever came. Ever in history. Presidents we ain't even lived under. Presidents we even know about. Presidents that was racist. None of them presidents compare to Joe Biden. Donald Trump made a statement. You can take the worst of any three presidents you want to. The worst of George Bush. The worst of Bill Clinton. The worst of Barack Obama. You can add all that shit up, and it still doesn't come out to the shit Joe Biden done in 2 years. You can take their whole 8 years of being president, and ain't shit they done combined compares to the shit that Joe Biden done in this country. Now you got MSNBC on here comparing him to Jimmy Carter. And you know what famous speech Jimmy Carter had? That Malaya speech or whatever, tell everybody everything is going to be good and everything is going to be all right, but he never said it. Why is Joe Biden giving the same speech that Jimmy Carter gave about I feel you and I feel your pain and all, and not saying the basic same word, the Malaya, whatever the fuck the word is, right? But Joe Biden was saying the same thing, I feel your pain. He said the same thing Jimmy Carter said. Same thing. But just didn't say the word. They finna point it out.
Staff seems overly protective of him.
Yeah, there's no question. And that's part of the reason he's out front so little. He's done such a tiny number of recent interviews. And now, of course, in this AP interview, the message that he's sending that people...
Oh, I forgot. He also done the less interviews in president history, right? Took the most vacation time in president history. Done less press conference, interview, you name it, than anybody in history. He's protected more than anybody in history. Did you hear what they said? That's why they don't want him out front, because he fucking up. Think about this. He's talked to the press conference. He's talked to world leaders. He's talked to people. People don't even want to talk to him. But he's talked to people less than anybody ever that reached the White House. A record. He only done one press conference this year. In January. One. Hopping out in front of a helicopter and talking about Roe v. Wade is not an interview. Going on Jimmy Kimmel is not an interview. saying something and asking you take questions, and then when the question get to you what you don't like, and turn around and say, I don't want to answer that, and leave it, it's not an interview. This nigga haven't done an interview this year, the longest in history. Add this shit up. Add this shit up, y'all.
Are highlighting is he's recognizing that there's a lot of pain and suffering in this country.
Giving people a little Jimmy Carter flashback, a word he never actually said, but malaise, his infamous malaise speech.
And that's something that senior White House staff are acutely aware of.
The malaise. I feel your pain. I'm sorry. They're very aware of the malaise speech that Jimmy Carter recited, that Joe Biden is doing the same damn thing. I feel your pain. Motherfuckers don't want to hear that. That's going to make people more mad. You sitting up there telling people you feel their pain and you doing everything you can, and gas is not going down, it's steady going up, and you telling people to get an electric car and all this. You're making people more mad than anything. Oh, I feel your pain. No, you don't, Joe. And if people know it, there's no way in the world I can think Joe Biden understands my pain, nigga, because you don't have to get up here and do videos for donations, nigga. Joe Biden ain't got to do that. Joe Biden ain't got to worry about if I don't get no donation, nigga, I can't pay rent. He ain't got to worry about that. I do. So how you going to feel my pain, Joe? How you going to feel where I'm coming from? It's impossible. You can't.
When you're doing worse than Jimmy Carter's doing in the minds of Americans on inflation, you know that they're holding you responsible.
Well, Joe Biden looked like a candidate today.
Well, y'all, let's talk about, remember Joe Biden history, right? Oh, my bad. I done accidentally, we got to go way over here. I done accidentally cut it off, right? Joe Biden history, right? Joe Biden also got a history, right? Joe Biden also,
like a candidate,
also got a history of touching women. Remember Joe Biden's history of touching women? What about them accusations? What about Joe being a pervert? Remember them accusations? When he couldn't keep his hands to himself? Huh? When he had to apologize for his history of touching people and making people uncomfortable? Joe has a history.
Today, a candidate trying to put a simmering controversy behind him.
Hey, Sally, how are you? You got a smile that lights up the whole Senate chamber. Good to see you. You're getting too old. You're getting too old and too lovely.
But he may have stirred up more trouble for himself. The former vice president made his first public appearance since a number of women said they were uncomfortable when he touched them.
What are you seeing?
This is my daughter-in-law.
Kelly, how are you? Hi, Jack. You have very good taste. Okay.
Oh, you have very good taste, huh? You see how Joe Biden is openly, right, being perverted to people, being a child molester, being too touchy-feely. Remember, he got a history of this shit. Remember, Joe Biden got too many histories. A history of racism, a history of power grabbing, a history of fucking with kids, a history of making women uncomfortable. He has a history.
Good to see you, man. You have great taste. Well, I'll tell you what, you've got very good taste, like your father. It's a pleasure to meet you. You have very good taste. Come on, it's going to hurt your reputation, man. You're going to have to go home and explain. What would I do with that Democrat?
It's like that boy wasn't even. It's like that dude didn't even give a fuck what he was talking about. What are you gonna go? What are you gonna do with that Democrat? Look how he look. Look how she look. Like, you perverted son of a bitch. You perverted son of a bitch. He not even interested. He don't even want to be there.
I'm sorry I didn't understand more. I'm not sorry for any of my intentions. Kids, come on over here, okay? You ready?
Thank you so much.
Look at his hands. Look how she. That's uncomfortable for her. Look at her shoulders. Look at his hands. Watch how he move his hands. He has a history.
Now, you getting in this picture?
Huh? Look how she's uncomfortable. Look at his hands. You're getting in this picture. Why he's rubbing on this little girl? It's uncomfortable. Look at his hands. That's uncomfortable. Does she look comfortable? Soon as he grabbed her, look how her face changed. Look how her face changed, right? She's happy now. She's smiling right now, right? Now look at her face change. She's shocked. She's uncomfortable. That's the look of disgust. Look how it look from a smile to disgust. And that fast. A smile right here to disgust this fast. Huh? To disgust that fast.
There you go. You can put it away. Pleasure to meet you.
Good. And again, please looking right here.
Look at the hand. Where the hands at, Joe? You can't tell me she look comfortable. Where the hands at? Everybody got their hands on Bibles and shit. Hands to the side. This is his wife. He ain't even got his hands on her. He got to grab her. Like father, like son.
Seen publicly for the first time since accusations of inappropriate behavior, former Vice President Joe Biden today issued a partial apology.
So tell me about you.
His wife, Holly.
Hi, Holly. How are you? Now, Holly, you can...
Look, you see how he grabbed her? He just grabbed her. Look how she look. Look how the faces look. Right? They smile. And look how she look at the husband when he grabbed the daughter. Right? She looking at him, but look how she look at the husband when he said, "Come here," he snatched her. Right now he said, "Come here." Look at her face. Look how she look at her husband. Look how she look at her. She give him the Jada Pinkett look like, nigga, you ain't gonna slap this nigga. Look, she start frowning up. She start frowning up. She looking at her husband.
I want you next to me.
Look. No. I had to do this one. Look at Joe Biden's face this whole time. Look at Joe Biden's face. I want you over here with me. Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at Joe Biden's face.
I've never been disrespectful intentionally. Sister, you come over this side. Come on over this side. Okay? Come on, sis. You get right in the middle with me. You get right over here. Over this way. Mom, you get right in the middle. Come on, Dad.
Look his head. He almost got his head in her damn pants. Come on. That is inappropriate.
Okay, here you go. To a man or a woman. How old are you?
28.
28. God, what?
26.
26. Come on, thank you. I thought they were still in school. Too many beautiful girls in this family. You got one job.
Too many beautiful girls in this family. You got one job. Just gotta make people uncomfortable, Joe. You got too many beautiful girls in this family. Give me some. Give me some of these girls.
My father used to say, for real, keep boys away from your sister.
And keep the old niggas away too.
Good job.
But in a hotel ballroom packed overwhelmingly with middle-aged men, he made light of his recent troubles. Not once.
I just want you to know I had permission to hug Lonnie.
But twice.
By the way, he gave me permission to touch him. Just remember, no serious guys in your 30s. Is this your sister?
Yeah.
You have a hard job. You got to keep the boys away from your sister. That's the deal. Hey, Jasper, you're going to have a hard job keeping the boys away from your sister. Like you had a beautiful sister.
But if you got the heads the same place, you got a beautiful sister, keep the men away from your sister. What about you, Joe?
Keep the boys away from your sister. That's the job. My dad just said one job. Keep the guys away from your sister.
At least 8 women in the past week have accused Biden of invading their personal space.
My dad used to say, you got one job. I have a beautiful sister like you guys. I swear to God, he used to say, you have one job. Keep the guys away from your sister. You're in trouble.
You're in trouble, right? You're in trouble, right? Is y'all tired of the Joe Biden line yet? Is y'all tired of the Joe Biden history yet? All these Joe Biden records. I can't name them. You know what? I'm going to do one more. One more Joe Biden history. Joe Biden history of lying like a motherfucker. Joe Biden. I don't know if people who would have voted for Joe Biden would have saw his first run and saw how he done on his first run and look at his last run, they wouldn't have voted for his ass because he was doing the same exact shit. And the tiger stripes don't change, especially Joe. They damn near the news stations damn near clown Joe. The same news stations and the same media that's pumping Joe up right now was the same media was making fun of Joe Biden as like he was a fucking retard. Last history is Joe Biden's history of lying.
The joy of their play.
For the joy of their play.
Biden gave Kennedy no credit. He has also quoted or paraphrased John Kennedy, Hubert Humphrey, and British Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock, all without credit.
Joseph Biden admitted today that he committed plagiarism when he was in law school. He said it was a mistake, but that it was unintentional.
He quoted 5 pages of someone else's work without proper citation.
That nigga copying books, copying speeches. This is your president. Lie and say, oh, I didn't know about it. Huh? The nigga called a lie and lie again. The dumbest president ever.
I've done some dumb things, and I'll do dumb things again.
He was given an F.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I've been dumb.
To the political community in Washington, it all seems of a piece. Plagiarism at law school, plagiarism on the stump.
The great communicator. Strike that. The great imitator.
Look at the news. Look how the news is talking about him. Joe Biden, the great imitator. Huh? The news didn't give a fuck about Joe Biden then because they was telling the truth. This when the news had to tell the truth. Joe Biden was a lying son of a bitch then. He's a lying son of a bitch now.
You don't steal verbatim, or when you do, as he did 99% of the time, you give credit.
Biden's critics say he sells himself as a man whose words and visions can inspire a new generation in politics. But if the thoughts, phrases, and visions really belong to others, it's a form of false advertising.
Hey, when Joe Biden can't speak now, it's the same thing. Them not his words coming out of his mouth. That's the teleprompter. Like Elon Musk say, whoever writing the teleprompter is running the fucking country. Whoever putting the fucking words in Joe Biden was stealing words then. Now he's getting told words to say. Straight fucking puppet. Lied. Called him the great imitator. said he supposed to be a man of talking, supposed to be able to bridge the gap and bring people together. Ha! Lying son of a bitch.
Is it a wise idea, though, to take something that personal, anyway, from another politician and try and appropriate it to your own campaign?
I think it was a stupid thing to appropriate material that was really very personal, that was someone else's.
Most people didn't know who he was. You know, Joe Biden, and now they're going to say, oh, yeah, he's the guy who plagiarized.
Didn't nobody know who the fuck he was. Then they'll be like, oh, that's the dude who lied. Didn't nobody know who the fuck Joe Biden was. He was a nobody.
A lot of people.
First, politically, that's devastating. These clips are devastating. He looks like a Joe Biden wind-up doll with somebody else's words coming out.
Did y'all hear this shit? I wish they could see this shit now, huh? Did y'all hear the person y'all voted for? The history of the lying son of a bitch. The history of the person that was assaulting women. The history of Joe Biden. Joe Biden. This is your president.
If they're going to do things that are stupid as well as immoral, then they're probably too dumb to have the job of president.
If he's going to be so stupid, he shouldn't have the job as president. Well, guess what? He got that job, and stupid motherfuckers voted for him.
The voters are going to have to decide whether he was dishonest or dumb.
What? They was calling Joe Biden stupid and dumb back then. He's too dumb to be president. He's too stupid. He's a liar. He's an imposter. They was calling this shit nigga all that shit back then. But you son of a bitches voted for him.
Senator Joseph Biden may have more explaining to do. The new questions stem from taped remarks of Biden during an April campaign appearance in New Hampshire.
I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. Went back to law school and in fact ended up in the top half of my class. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only needed 123 credits.
Biden now concedes he did not graduate in the top half of his law school class, that he does not have 3 degrees from college, and that he was not named outstanding political science student.
That nigga didn't do shit. I was this, degrees. I had 3 degrees. I needed this many credits. I got that. I graduated in the middle of He didn't do none of that shit. Stolen speeches, got on there, lied, right, about his class, stole somebody else's classwork, right? They called him fucking stupid. They called him fucking dumb, right? They called him an imposter, and you motherfuckers voted for him? No wonder the country's so fucked up like it is. This nigga been fucked up his whole life.
In college.
Newsweek says Biden actually went to school on a half scholarship, ended up near the bottom of his class, and won only 1 degree, not 3.
Joe Biden ranked 76th in a class of 85.
That nigga was 76 or 85. Do people who voted for him notice this nigga said Joe Biden was number 76 and 85? It was only 9 other dumb motherfuckers in class worse than him. I graduated at the top of my class. Yeah, if you turned that motherfucker upside down.
At the University of Syracuse Law School. I mean, this guy comes off this whole thing as a flyweight.
Now Biden says Newsweek is right. His memory had failed him.
His memory has failed him. My memory failed me. I forgot the degrees, I forgot where I graduated from, and I forgot my scholarship, my full scholarship. My memory has failed me. I didn't lie. My memory has failed me. I'm gonna say that shit when I get caught up in something. Oh, I didn't cheat. My memory failed me. I forgot who my wife was. You stupid motherfucker, you. OMG.
And I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours if you'd like, Frank.
Joe Biden was victimized by the truth.
That nigga said Joe Biden was victimized by the truth. Where's these news people at? We need these motherfuckers back, right? Motherfuckers say he's a lying son of a bitch. If he's that dumb, he shouldn't be president. Where are these motherfuckers at? We need these people back. Fuck CNN.
Bye Biden. He may not know it yet, but I think this is going to be very difficult for him to recover.
Is Joe Biden dead meat, yes or no?
I think so.
Bob.
Is Joe Biden dead meat? Hell yeah, Bob. Joe Biden, the worst president ever. The worst president fucking ever. Huh? The worst president ever, but you voted for him. This motherfucker ain't got no education. He ain't got no speech. Them motherfuckers say, is he dead meat? The Democrats didn't want to fuck with it. You see how they just owned him? They just owned him like they finna disown his ass right now. Don Lemon disowned the nigga. Everybody's owning Joe Biden. They're like, fuck him. He's dead meat. All right, they call him right now a dead duck, whatever. Don't nobody want to fuck with him. It's over. And it's sad. But you just went through the history. I just went down the history. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's more history of Joe Biden, or there's more things Joe Biden done that ain't nobody else done in history. But just the things I named makes him the worst president ever. Right? If you want to talk about the good things, it's not really no good thing. You done hired a black woman to be a damn vice president or a Supreme Court judge. That's not the best person. Right? Because they haven't done shit for the black community. Right? It's not a history and a hell of a good thing to run a brag about because you hired a transgender to have a position, or a gay immigrant to have a position, or a Mexican immigrant to have a position. These are not good things that you brag about, because what have they done in the positions? Ain't nobody gonna write home to the job that Mayorkas done on the border. Ain't nobody that's not going down in history as he took care of the border. He done something, you know what I'm saying, that helped America out with immigration. It's not going down. The bitch John Paul, she finna get fired because the bitch reading off a paper and she getting exposed. Kamala Harris just had to Then nobody want to take no pictures with the bitch, so I had to knock the price down and give a motherfucking deal on a low. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, what's good coming out of this administration? Like, ain't none of these motherfuckers is cracking right now. Don't nobody like nobody in your administration, including you. That's why your poll numbers is down. That's why the Republicans finna have a red wave. Everything that Joe Biden done or doing or finna get done to him is historic. They probably about to hit that nigga with the mental fucked up clause and say he too mentally fucked up to even hold president and put Kamala Harris in because they're about ready to do it because Don Lemon asking it, MSNBC asking it, everybody asking is he mentally capable? It's people in the White House saying the same shit. Clyburn damn near saying the same thing. They about to push the 25th Amendment on this nigga. And that would be another first in history. This is the first time in history someone's son that's been president getting investigated by his own Department of Justice. It's the first time for a lot of shit under Joe Biden. But I hope it don't be a first time we go to fucking war with China, because that would be ugly. Or first time we do something stupid, like start something nuclear, that would be stupid. But how can we trust Joe if we ran this president this fucked up? We don't know what he capable of. We don't know what disaster he capable of. Speak out of turn. That's my shit. That's my video coming up to. I don't know if I'm gonna do the border with MS-13. I got both of them set right. I got the border with MS-13. And I got China, you know what I'm saying, a war with China. I don't know which one of them I'm going to do tomorrow. I want to do the China on how fucked up and how soft the country is right now, because we soft right now and other countries see that. Right? You ought to see, look, I done saw, I'll probably do the China commercial tomorrow, right? They got motherfuckers from North Korea, right, running and jumping head first with bricks and getting 2x4 slammed. I mean, they doing some rough shit over there. And what we doing, we got transgenders in our army, in our military. It's some fucked up shit. That was the video I was going to do today, but I felt this video was better. But anyway, that was the end of this show. I'm about to end this show. You know what I'm saying? I want to thank everybody who donated. And if you ain't donated, get your ass to the donation spot or donation link closest to you and get the donating. The show don't run without no donation. We can't have the same people donate each and every time, because guess what? Sometimes I know they get show too. You know what I'm saying? So help them people out with a donation to keep this channel rolling, or else you can't get videos like this from nobody else. It ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't keep this channel going, this content is leaving and you can't get it from nobody else. It's not going to work. Try to get it from Don Lemon. Try to get it from Tucker Carlson. You ain't going to get it. You can't get this information from anybody. Who think of shit like this but me? I'm out this bitch. I'll see y'all tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And be good to tomorrow. I'm out this bitch. Where we at? Leave that donation.